Hello, Matrix, and welcome again. Today we are looking at inequalities. Now, again, I've left the same question that we factorized because when you do inequalities, it's very, very much like factorizing and then solving the equation. The only difference is instead of an equal sign, you would have like a greater than sign or a less than sign. So it looks like an equation, but it could have something like this. So instead of having equals here, it might have less than or less than and equal to. Okay, so what you do is you solve it as if it's an equation, except that what we do is we write critical values. So the critical values, let's look at what critical values mean. So say we get a question like x squared minus 4 equals 0, say. Well, let's look at the graph of that. So if you were to look at the intercepts, when you factorize this, you get x minus 2, x plus 2 equals 0. So if we were to draw this on the graph, we get our intercepts of x equals 2 and x equals minus 2. So, and we get a y-intercept of minus 4. So minus 4 and 2 and minus 2. Okay, so let's look at, say we had the question x squared minus 4 greater than and equal to 0. So what that means is, where is this graph bigger than 0? So when we look at it, we see that it's greater than 0 over here. Let's just do that in the bigger. Over here and over here. So from 2 to negative infinity, and from, I wrote those the wrong way around, from negative 2, and that's a positive. So positive 2 to infinity and negative 2 to negative infinity. So those values would be where the graph was greater than x. X squared minus 4 was greater than 0. So the 2 and the minus 2 are critical values, because at that point it stops being bigger and is less than. So for there you would write, well, x minus 2 and x equals 2 and x minus 2 are our critical values. So therefore then we just look at the graph and we say, well, I see that its x is going to be less than negative 2, or x is greater than 2. You could also write it like this, negative infinity, and it's, remember, it's equal to. So we just have to say equal to 2 because there's the equal sign there. So it's also equal. For this less than sign, we don't include 2, but here we do include 2. So you put a square bracket. So we say x is an element of, and then you can say that, or from 2 to infinity. Okay, and infinity always has a round bracket because you can never reach infinity. Right, so instead of we saying equals, we just say critical values. Okay, and so our critical values was x equals minus 2 over 3, or x equals minus 3. Now there's two ways of doing this when you now have to say which is greater than or equal to. One of the ways is you can just put it on a timeline like this, where you have your values negative 2 over 3 and negative 3. And what you would do is you would check on either side of those values. So you would substitute in a value. So say you had negative 100. So negative 100, well, this negative would just become positive, wouldn't it? Negative 100 times negative. So this would be a big number. So we'd have a positive here. And if it was positive, say positive 1,000,000, that squared number is going to be huge. And so this is going to be plus here. And so if we look now in the middle, then we have to check in the middle of these numbers. So we try, say, negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4 times 6 is 24. Minus 44 is minus 20 plus 12 minus 8. So that's a negative. So we would know, okay, we look at it and we say, right, what is this saying? It's saying this graph, this equation is less than 0. So it's negative. And you say, where is it true? It's true over here. So we know that it's between those values. So we can then put x in the middle. And we know it's between negative 3 and negative 2 over 3. And so we say it's greater than minus 2 over 3, but it's less than negative 2 over 3. The second way is a bit quicker. What you do is you look at what the value is in front of the x squared. Is it positive or negative? And we see that it's positive, so we know it's a smiley face graph. So it's a smiley face graph, so it's going to look like that. And then you say, well, where is it negative? It's negative over here. And so then it's between those values. So it's between negative 3. I'll just do it in green, between, because we did negative 3 and negative 2 over 3. And so it's true over here. And we would put exactly the same value as we did. And so that's our final answer. So that's inequalities. Remember, we treat them as an equation, but instead of just saying equals, we say those are our critical values. And you need to say critical values. And then you put in your final answer. And yeah, that should be good for the lesson today. Next time, I'm going to be doing simultaneous equations, because I noticed in the factorization question, there was one where we could have maybe looked at some simultaneous equations, and I realized I hadn't put that in the schedule. So going to be simultaneous equations next, and then nature of roots, and finally logs, and we should then be done for our algebra section. If you enjoyed this video, please find the subscribe link down below and subscribe for more videos and just help support my channel. And of course, help other learners in Matrics who are looking for help, for them to be able to find this channel. And please share and like as well, all that good stuff. I will see you in the next lesson.